Okay, so I was thinking about aligning and Abraham Esther Hicks, talking about aligning yourself and just having a good time. So I've always kind of had a tricky time with that, but I get behind it. But I had like this moment yesterday in which I was kind of like, oh, oh shit, okay, I got it. So this is what I came up with yesterday. I wrote it all down, so forgive me if I sort of like look at what I wrote down. I had to take some time to process Eckhart Tolle's room analogy that he explained in his podcast with Russell Brand. I think in it he says the room is not its contents. The room is the space for the contents, or some such. He said, if you ask a room what it is and it lists off, I have cabinets, or I have a table, and I have a stove. Well, we understand that it's a kitchen, but we also have the understanding that it's not just the things that you put into it, it's the space itself. So this was the moment of me walking yesterday. So, and forgive how I am analogizing this. I came to understand that I am a container, so I am a space. I like to think of it kind of using that room idea as a box. I know this is so lame, but I like the box to be made out of light. I figured that would be smartest. This is for my symbolism in my head to understand it fully. Light can expand and contract without losing integrity, so I figured that's probably, and pass through things. So I figured that was probably like the best thing. So I am a container. I am a space. I am a light box. And everything in this space is a convergence, a nexus of my personality or ego, subconscious, my physical intelligence, my thoughts, sensory perceptions. So a lot of these things, like thoughts, are not necessarily mine. They kind of come, they hang out in light space, and then they move on. Or they hang out in light space and I hold on to them. But some things sort of stay as guideposts. Like I think my subconscious is a guidepost, and I think my personality is a guidepost, especially now because I've been really working on myself and things that I like about myself. But what's really interesting is that I realized that my box, it's so stupid, my box has preferences. So I, as a space, have preferences. I guess it's just what I am, in an eternal sense. I have preferences, and all of those preferences lean towards joy. So, very simply put, I am the container made of light that likes joy. I'm a light box that likes joy. And this is where sort of the shit gets interesting, because if I lean towards joy in my personality, if I lean towards joy in my sensory perceptions, things click into place very nicely for me. I think what Abraham Hicks would say, I feel aligned. And this is also where shit gets interesting. So this is something else. Jose Silva talks about in the first years, and I think it's first years of our life, we live in almost like a state of hypnosis, and we're absorbing, and I believe he calls it the theta state, or the beta, I don't remember what it is, but I'm sure someone can tell me, which according to Eckhart Tolle, the theta state is below thinking. So we are absorbing the world, and I think as a kid we're sort of closest to that mental vibration of our container, our soul, my light box. So in order for me to really find my soul preferences, this funky preference that leans me towards joy, and align my light box to its joy, I have to go back to the things that made me happy as a kid. I liked nature and animals and singing and dancing and reading everything out loud, which is interesting in light of what I'm planning on doing. And please understand that through this understanding to get to here, I had to do like some serious inner child work. I had to like confront a lot of fears and behaviors from my subconscious, and I'm still like releasing stories that I told myself that I feel like limited me. And I credit Julia Cameron for really giving me to that healing of understanding creativity and the inner critic. I took that a step further and sort of understood how the inner critic was a product of my childhood, and that it is in fact just misguided attempts to keep me safe, and that's theta state shit. But so I have come to understand that I am a container made out of light that has preferences that lean towards joy and happiness, and I kind of like it. That's my understanding of soul consciousness and existence that I came up with yesterday from many, many sources. Thanks.